Hey guys, it's April the 13th, and for the next couple of days, you can try out these really high profile games completely for free. And if you decide you like them, you can buy them at a significant discount. So these games are Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, and Ballistic Overkill. Now, I'll give you a short introduction on each game and also give you my opinion on which ones you should spend your time on. Now, for Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, I think when it first came out, it was a little bit of a rocky start. It didn't review super well, but I think people recognised it for a decent co-op shooter, and it's more of a modern third-person shooting game. It's less of a Ghost Recon Rainbow Six classic style in the 1990s where bullets were really lethal and you could get killed in a couple of hits. It's more of a third person Far Cry, cross off the activities off your map and take over the entire map slowly to kind of game. Now that's not to say it's completely it's not a bad game. I think Ubisoft have definitely put a lot of effort into this game, and they're taking their platform as a service ethos very seriously with all of their titles, especially with Tom Clancy's properties, because I think they've been doing this with Rainbow Six, where every couple of months, every season, they release new characters and new content, new maps, and they're applying that same style of development to Ghost Recon Wildlands as well. I think Ghost Recon Wildlands, they recently announced their yearly update plan, where certain missions, certain DLCs will come out regularly, and also they have this Splinter Cell Sam Fisher mission, which you can actually try this weekend as well as part of this free promotional period. So I think it's worth trying, but something which might put you off is the massive 60 gigabyte download. So those of you with slow internet, you might not even be able to get the game downloaded in time. But if you do have decent internet, and you do have a couple of friends to play co-op with, this might be a great way to try out Wildlands to see if it's your cup of tea. Now, people in the reviews, on the Steam reviews, are saying it's a bit of it's a bit boring maybe after a couple of hours, but I think it's a modern third person shooter game. It might feel a bit generic, and I think they've maybe spoiled the Ghost Recon name a little bit, but I think these kind of games are still from Ubisoft, and Ubisoft's going to support it, so I think it's worth a try for me, and I think this is the game that I'll be spending most of my time on this weekend. So let's move on to the next one. Skyrim. So Skyrim Special Edition is free to play for the next couple of days, and that's Skyrim is one of these sort of iconic epic games, which is we won loads of awards, and most people have played it, or most people have finished it and know what it is. So for those of you that don't know, Skyrim is a third or mainly first person RPG game. It's part of the Elder Scrolls series, which is a long running Western RPG style of game, and Skyrim is basically the latest entrance in that. So Skyrim's set in a high fantasy world with spells and dragons and barbarians and all sorts of crazy creatures and things. Dungeons, questing, that's what you're getting into with Skyrim. Hundreds of hours of that. You probably won't be able to finish it in 2 days. But I think Skyrim is one of those sort of iconic games, and you should definitely try it out. Something that might feel a bit dated is the graphics, I think, because it's actually getting on. It's getting on for a couple of years now, and it might not look as good as maybe a Witcher 3 or something like that. But I think it's it's one of those games that you need to try out if you haven't picked it up yet. Although that some of the hardcore fans do say it's one of the weaker entrants in the Elder Scrolls series in terms of story and questing. And I think that's a criticism which a lot of sort of the recent Bethesda games have been getting, because people said that Fallout 4 as well was not as good as Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 3. So, you know, worth a try, I think. And if you like this sort of game, to be honest, you probably already bought it. But if you're new to these, you know, if you've never played an Elder Scrolls game, this is definitely a good one to try out, and give it a go. So let's move on to the next game. Now, Ballistic Overkill. I don't know much about this game. To be honest, it looks a bit like a free-to-play FPS, and it's more of a. I think it's more on the character side, so a character shooter, like in the vein of sort of an Overwatch. I might give it a go. I think it's less of a Counter-Strike, PUBG realistic sort of game. It's more of a Quake, Unreal, you know, that kind of shooter. So it's maybe even a Team Fortress. So let's look at the reviews down here. So some of the reviews don't look too good. It's rather mediocre and boring FPS with hostile community. So I don't know. Just maybe check out some of these reviews and check out the game if it's not too large to download. But yeah, it seems like a alright shooter, and if it's got you know, some decent character, decent maps and things, I'm sure it'll be fun as well. So that's the roundup for this weekend's free games. I'll definitely be playing mostly on Ghost Recon Wildlands. So maybe you can let me know in the comments if you're interested in these games, or you can just go ahead and try them out on Steam. In the case of Wildlands, you can also get it on Uplay. And as I said, they're all on a significant discount. So if you decide after these couple of days that you do like these games, you can always buy them and keep playing after this weekend. Alright, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.